10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Yes, everybody, how are we doing? It's Friday. Got that sweet Friday feeling. Sam here live on United People's TV. How are we all doing? The beginning of the weekend, the end of the week. Is Friday the best day of the week? No, Friday evening is probably the best time. It's the best time to get drunk because then when you wake up and you have a bad Saturday, you feel good on Sunday before it all starts again on Monday. But how are you all doing? What are you all doing this weekend? I'm going to be watching Man United pump Watford 4-0. Well, hope so anyway. I'm going to be speaking this morning, though, about Mauricio Pochettino, the man who no one's going to turn their nose up if Pochettino becomes Manchester United's manager. We can all have our opinions on whether he's the correct manager or not. And you know where I stand on that with Poch and Ten Hag. But I'm going to run through the latest reports this morning from The Athletic on Pochettino. I'm going to run through quite a few things this morning, actually. Ralf Rangnick yesterday sat pictured with Paul Mitchell, who is AS Monaco's current sporting director. What does that mean? I'm going to run through the picture and run through what it could potentially mean. Going to also run through conversations that we need to have about Anthony Elanga, about Marcus Rashford, about apparently Manuel Akanji from Borussia Dortmund, Antonio Rudiger from Chelsea. I don't really think that right now transfers are the talking point, because the main talking point, as we all very well know, is who are Manchester United going to get in as the new manager. Good morning to Mick Rogers on Facebook. Good morning to you, Takeoff T. What are the members we've got down here this morning? Al Williams, good morning to you. And Josh Williams. Are you related, Al and Josh? I think so. I think. Baller, good morning to you. Calvin, good morning to you. Who else we got down here? Alex King as well. Good morning to everybody who's watching. It's been a good week. Feels like it's been a good week. It was better than last week, eh? Remember the week before, obviously, when it was just a week full of those reports about Maguire and the captaincy and Ronaldo and showdown talks and a split dressing room. It was a frustrating week as a Manchester United fan, sort of watching your club unravel further, just when you think they couldn't actually do it. So I suppose this week's been a lot better. Had that 4-2 against Leeds, went into the buzz of the Champions League, and thanks to Anthony Elanga, we came out of that with a pretty decent result, I'll be completely honest. Certainly after how that game actually went. And now we head into this weekend. We have got Watford on Saturday. We'll speak about that towards the end of the show. I'm also going to be doing my predicted 11 that's going to go out later on today. And also, because it's Friday, we're going to get the announcer. Oh, that's annoying. Of course, they had to be in the way. All easy here in People's Towers. Look, I'm going to give this one away. This is the last one. The final Ronaldo shirt is being given away today, all right? So who's going to win that? You make sure you stick around to find out. We're going to get the map up. The fabled map's going to be coming back. Going to get a few pins added onto it. See who else is watching. Good morning to you, John. Good morning to you. Porter actually has a good comment there about keen about Simeone. Let me pull that one up. Have that conversation a little bit later on. Actually, no, I've started. We'll have it now. Roy Keane has said that Manchester United should be considering a move, or at least having Diego Simeone's name in the hat. What do you think about that? Diego Simeone, yes or no? You let me know in the comments. We can have a conversation about that as the show progresses. But let's dive straight into this one. You know what to do throughout the entire video. You let me know what you're thinking in the comments, and I will react to as many as I possibly can. Please do not spam the comments too much, or, I don't know, just don't be a dick. I suppose that's what I can say. But look, let's get straight into it. This is from The Athletic this morning, and as you can see, Simeone's face is there front and center. Simeone, a man who has been at Atletico Madrid now for 10 years. I couldn't believe he's been at Atletico Madrid for that long. Very rare in the modern game that a manager stays at a club for that long, and Simeone has done that and won 2 La Liga titles. He's got 2 Champions League finals, which he's lost both of them to Real Madrid. But that's bad. Kamish, you're saying no to Simeone, or however you spell it. What we're down here. Josh, you're saying no, thank you. You're saying no, thank you. And so are you, Takeoff. And good morning to you, Lisa Smallwood on YouTube. Good morning to everybody who's watching. Everyone's feeling in a chipper good morning mood. It must be Friday. Al Williams, you're right there. Simeone's wages are mad. I think is he the highest paid, was he second highest paid manager in the world behind Guardiola? He has a phenomenal amount of money at Atletico Madrid. I don't really think that money is anything to do with money is basically not a conversation that has any relevance to do with Manchester United's search for a new manager. And this is exactly why. Because if you scroll down here and you see how much money Man United have spent sacking managers, and it goes to show that it really doesn't matter how much you actually pay them. Solskjaer got 7.5 million in a payoff. Jose Mourinho, 19.6 million pounds we had to pay him to get rid of him. Wow. Louis van Gaal got 8.4 million, and David Moyes, tell you what, he must have been on pittance by comparison. He was 10 months into a 6-year contract, and he was only paid 5 million pounds. But anyway, what's that in total? 12.5 plus 20, 32.5, 4. It's like 43 million pounds we've spent on sacking managers in the last 8 years. That's incredible. That is incredible. I'm going to laugh, but that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anthony, nice to see you rejoining as a member here this morning, my friend. You got the Elanga photo pointing to the badge. There he is. That's Elanga. Nice to see you there, back in the gang. My word, we have spent a lot of money to sack managers. So you got to get it right this time, eh? We've had these conversations. Almost feels it's only towards the end of February now, and it feels almost like exhaustive having these same conversations about how Manchester United have to get this next manager right, how we can't get it wrong, how it's so important to do X and make sure we don't do Y. But because it's the biggest and most prevalent talking point, until it gets sorted, it's going to be the main thing that we talk about. Now, let's go down here and see what The Athletic is saying about Pochettino, because you all know, right, where I stand on Ten Hag and Poch. I'll say it one more time for those of you who haven't heard me talk about it before, but I'm sure you all have. But I think Poch a few years ago would have been the perfect manager for United. But I think that ship, not that the ship has sailed, but that ship's like gone downriver a little bit. We could, of course, run down, catch up with it and jump on. But would it be as good now as it would have been a few years ago? No, I don't think it would be. Do I think it'll be a bad appointment? No, I also don't. Because I'm definitely covering myself here, because I don't think we can rule. Obviously, we can't rule. As far as it stands right now, we're looking 50-50, Poch and Ten Hag. According to The Athletic, it should probably be more towards Poch, actually. So go down here and let's read the article and see what they're saying with the updates on Pochettino. And they're saying this. They're saying Pochettino does speak the language. On reflection, United must regret overlooking the former Spurs manager to give him the job in 2019. It's exactly what I've just said there. And I didn't even read this bit. But what they put down there, you can read it. Pochettino is, put bluntly, the manager that Manchester United would love to hire. Strong words there from The Athletic, but it's not exactly too much of a surprise, is it? Let's be completely honest. Pochettino, as I've explained it before, it's like going back into your old file cabinet, just dusting off the 2019 folder, the 2016 folder with Poch's name on, blowing the dust off and just bringing it back out. That's what it would be with Poch. And that's why he would still have so many admirers inside Manchester United's structure. Going down here, the Athletic is saying that we were willing to pay upwards of 15 million to actually get Pochettino. So nearly as much as we paid to sack Mourinho is what we would have been willing to pay to get Poch mid-season. But PSG were just straight up refusing to let that happen. In a season where they've got Messi, Mbappe and Neymar together, they want to win the Champions League. So it's understandable that they did not want to get rid of him mid-season. What else did they say in this article? Oh, yeah, that was it. United do have a few lingering concerns about Poch. First, that maybe he has done his best work in the past. It's almost like The Athletic has been reading and listening to what we've been saying. Remember when we did that interactive show? Was it last Friday? The Friday before? We did a pros and cons of Poch and a pros and cons of Ten Hag. And if we were looking at probably one of the main cons about Poch, it's exactly that. Maybe he's done his best work in the past. Of course, that's an assumption, right? And we're all making assumptions in everything that we're talking about here with Ten Hag and Poch until it actually happens. But yeah, it's my fear that the absolute best time to appoint Poch was before we got Mourinho, 2016. That would have been the best time to get Poch. Of course, in the 3 years that happened after there, he took Spurs to the verge of the Premier League title. He took Spurs to the Champions League final. And obviously it all collapsed at that point. And then we didn't bring him in instead of Solskjaer in 2019. Would have been the second best time to bring Poch in. So for us to 3 years later, almost in these like 3-year cycles, we go back to a situation where we go, what about Poch? Asked the question in 2016, the answer was no. Asked the question in 2019, the answer was no. Is the answer now going to be yes, the third time around, 9 years after the initial conversation, or 6 years, whatever? It just seems a bit strange to me. As I said, it seems a bit strange. And it will just, I don't know. But that's the first reason that the Athletic are saying that Man United have got, lingering concerns about Pochettino. And the second is that one there. He's not always enjoyed working with PSG's A-listers. Now, Poch's excellent relationship with Kylian Mbappe is considered one of his strengths at PSG. Also considered why he would probably be one of the favourites to replace Carlo Ancelotti at Real Madrid if he was to be sacked, because Mbappe is definitely going to Real Madrid. And we mentioned both of these in our cons when we were talking about Poch, didn't we? We said, is his best work in the past? B, can he actually work with Manchester United's big named players? But that bit there, the Athletic goes on to say, he does, however, tick a lot of the boxes at a time when United need a manager of real substance. And there was not a murmur of discontent from a boisterous Apollo crowd when Neville explained why he did not believe that Rangnick was the man. I don't think Rangnick is the man. I've sort of stood by that the whole time. And would that opinion change if Manchester United won the Champions League? Well, it would have to be a conversation that we'd have. I would still stand pretty firm, though, that I would rather move Rangnick upstairs because I see more power. I see more good being done there than being the manager of our team. Anuj, nice to see you there, buddy. You're saying Poch was needed years ago. He'll not suit now. Ralph interviewing someone close to Poch, you say? I think he's just doing to pick his managerial choice. I don't know what you mean there. Sorry, I didn't understand that last part. I would say everybody, when you fire your comments in, read your comments before you fire them in. It does help. It really does help. But when it comes to Pochettino or Ten Hag, the Conte situation has shown us you've got to get the right man in. So many United fans, I remember it, so many United fans wanted Conte in because they are so short-term in their thinking that they can't see the wood from the trees. Conte would come in, he'd take this team with Ronaldo, with Bruno, with everyone, boom, he gets, boom, winning the boom, Premier, boom, yeah, boom. All of a sudden, 4 or 5 months in, Antonio Conte, I need to talk to the club. Tottenham have to make an assessment about the club, about me. We need to find the best solution. I can't keep losing. I'm sorry. Here, coaches change, but players are always the same, but the results don't change. Conte's falling out with... Who could possibly have predicted that Conte was going to fall out with Levy at Spurs? I think every United fan that predicted that Conte would fall out with Manchester United's owners very quickly. And of course, Manchester United's squad is better than Spurs' squad, I would argue. But still, the Conte situation has absolutely proven to me that long-term thinking is necessary. Witterberg, good morning to you. I haven't seen you here in comments, so nice to see you there. Thank you very much for joining in. And good morning to you, Matt, as well. You're saying, I still don't think Poch is the one. With the 9 years that we could have got him, his CV still isn't that impressive, and he hasn't got any better, really. Matt, I think that's something I really, truly feel as well. If you're looking at what's happened with Poch since, I would disagree and say his CV hasn't got better. I think that's a bit unfair. Between 2016 and 2019, Poch was one of the best managers, I would argue, in the world. What he achieved with that Spurs team was massive overachievement. The fact that he got them on the verge of winning the Premier League title, had Spurs backed Poch better, there's no doubt that they probably would have won the title, but they fell just short. He built a squad there with obviously with Kane and Son as the two centerpieces, but there were so many. Alderweireld, Vertonghen as the two centre backs, Lloris. Then they've Modric, great player. Was he there when Poch was? I'm not sure he was. Poch did an excellent job at Spurs in those 3 years, but that's the best we've seen of Poch. Between 2019 and where we are now in 2022, what's happened? He took a year and a bit out, then went to PSG, couldn't win the title in the first year after replacing Tuchel mid-season. Yeah, since 2019, we haven't really seen the best of Poch, and that's a bit of a fear of mine as well. Jibak, how you doing, sir? Sam, if you were Ralf Rangnick, from his perspective, who would you pick as our next manager? Considering every bit of idiosyncrasy of the club that you know. Oh, big. 10 points for using the word idiosyncrasy. I like that. For me, it's very clear that a forward-thinking appointment would be Ten Hag. Very forward-thinking, a bit more risky, I suppose, if you want to go down that road than someone like Poch. As I said to you before, I believe that Poch is a bit of a safer choice because he's got Premier League experience, because Manchester United have been linked with him before, because we know that he would love to manage Manchester United. There are plenty of reasons why Poch would tick the boxes, but there are plenty of reasons why he wouldn't as well, which we've spoken about in quite a lot of detail. Varun, and here's one concern about Ten Hag. Erik Ten Hag doesn't have Premier League experience. Managing in the Premier League is a different animal altogether. It is Varun. But you know who else didn't have Premier League experience before he came in? Jurgen Klopp. You know who else didn't have Premier League experience before he came in? Pep Guardiola. You know who else didn't have Premier League? You can see where I'm going with this. Thomas Tuchel. Just because a manager hasn't managed in the Premier League, it doesn't mean that they can't do it in the Premier League. When you're an elite level manager, you can manage wherever you're at. Now, I'm not saying that Ten Hag comes with the same sort of guarantees that Tuchel would have, or Klopp did, or Pep Guardiola did. But I would bet a large amount of money that Ten Hag would come into the Premier, whether it's Man United, whether it's whoever he comes to, he's coming to the Premier League at some point, and I think he'll do very, very well there. It's not like a player. I think it's a little bit different between a manager coming to the Premier League and a player coming to the Premier League. Just my opinion on that one there. Let's see what else you're saying in the comments here. What are we saying? Premier League experience is a myth, says A. I wouldn't say it's a myth, but I would say it applies more to players than it does to managers. Now, when it comes to Pochettino, this is the thing that we can run through all the articles from The Athletic that we want and have conversations that we always do every single week. But this is quite a little significant story. So this was Ralf Rangnick yesterday. He went to visit. He went to Old Trafford to watch Manchester United's under-18s in the FA Youth Cup. It was a quarter-final against Leicester. Manchester United through to the semi-final of the FA Youth Cup for the first time in a good amount of years. And we're going to speak about this bloke in a second as well. Alejandro Garnacho. Well, fuck me, that is an incredible name. 14 goals and 6 assists in 28 matches in all competitions this season. He got both goals last night. Really impressive performance, and really is a testament to how well Manchester United's academy recruitment has improved in the last 5 or 6 years. Our academy was in the pits for a while, and Nicky Butt helped. Nick Cox is leading it now. That's basically Manchester United's biggest win over the last 5-6 years. While our club has been failing, our academy has massively been improving. But Paul Mitchell, there's a comment there from Witterberg. Let me read this out here. Do you think the last United match with Chelsea at Old Trafford will have the manager speaking to the fans? Will have the next manager announced, possibly being at Old Trafford? I don't think that will. I don't think that will happen, Witterberg. I think it will be a little bit more behind the scenes than that. Klein is saying not worth it. We'll regret it as soon as we sign him. But look, so this is why this is quite significant. Let me run through this for you before I head down to the comments. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just doing a bit of both. So Rangnick, as I said, last night was at Old Trafford watching the under-18s. And he was sat alongside Paul Mitchell. Who is Paul Mitchell, I might hear you ask? Well, Paul Mitchell is AS Monaco's current sporting director. But he has previously worked at RB Leipzig as the head of recruitment and also underneath Mauricio Pochettino, both at Spurs and at Tottenham. So the fact that Ralf Rangnick was sat alongside Paul Mitchell is probably the biggest evidence I believe we've got so far, maybe, that Man United are looking at Poch. Now, the counter-argument to that is very simple. Manchester United were linked with Paul Mitchell back in December simply from a head of recruitment position. Could it be just the case that Manchester United are looking at Paul Mitchell because we're going to try and get best in class? Gary Neville's favourite 3 words. Are we just looking at the best in class of sporting directors, of people that have experience in recruitment? Maybe that's the case. MC Talkative, you sent in a super chat, my friend. Keep it up, Sam. Thank you very much, buddy. Big up to you, my friend. But look, this is where we've got to have a conversation about this. I'm going to be doing, before I quickly head into this, I'm going to be doing a completely separate video on this. I think it's really important that we always keep this in mind when we're having these discussions. Manchester United's football hierarchy. What is the power structure at United? This is from The Athletic, as always, doing it very, very well. It's very important to understand this because this is what we have to get right if we are to truly modernize as a football club. If we're going to be winning Premier League titles or Champions League titles, it's this structure that has to be reworked until it's seamless. At the moment, it's all over the place. And this is what we need to change. Let's go down here and block that user. Thank you very fucking much. Right. This is the structure, okay? So if you start up here, we know what's going on at the top. You got Joel Glazer and you got Richard Arnold. Richard Arnold now has replaced Ed Woodward. This is the first thing that's going to be changing. Ralf Rangnick is over here on the left as an interim manager, and John Murtow is over on the right as a football director. Now, when Ralf moves over to the right, what's that going to mean? Does that mean that Ralf probably, I imagine Ralf will probably go slightly above John Murtow in the structure, but we don't know that for a fact. That's just what my gut is telling me. And I tell you what, no one really has any idea what this bloke does. Darren Fletcher, Ralf Rangnick openly said, I literally don't know what Darren's job is. No one particularly does. I feel that's that was a very stopgap appointment, and it wouldn't surprise me if, I don't know, Fletcher just not disappeared, but what does he do? What does he do? Delisa, you sent in a super chat, my friend. Sent a super chat, my friend. So you haven't said anything though. Is that true? Let me just check that. Somebody in the comments there saying something about the Champions League final. Let's have a look and see if it's true. Well, I don't know. Apparently the final might be getting the move to Paris. That'd be funny. But look, if we go back down the structure here, this is what needs to be changed. This is where we see someone like Paul Mitchell. Okay, so Paul Mitchell is somebody who's worked as a head of recruitment he's currently AS Monaco sporting director. He's worked as head of recruitment at Spurs, at Southampton, and I think he worked in a similar role at RB Leipzig as well. If you're looking at Manchester United, he would basically come in there, presumably, to replace Steve Brown. Because Nick Cox, as I said, Manchester United's academy in the last few years has been fantastic. Matt Judge, we all know, was part of the Ed Woodward's main crony. He's been moved into a director of football negotiations. Maybe that's something, again, that we're looking at. Paul Mitchell can overtake both of these, head of recruitment operations and head of football negotiations. Maybe that's the case. And if we go down here, we start looking towards a scouting team that are all reporting in to Steve Brown. This is what we need to change. This whole thing here is a football side of things. We go over here. This is a management side of things. It's a bit separate, all right? But over here is what we need to improve as a football club. To get this whole structure right is so crucial, right? That needs to happen. So I can see in the comments there that it looks like the Champions League final has indeed been moved to Paris, Stade de France. Imagine that. Well, I'll tell you what. There's even more pressure. And as soon as we're having the conversation about Pochettino, wow. There is even more pressure now on Pochettino. Let's get that up on screen so we can have a conversation about it. Even more pressure on Pochettino to deliver the Champions League. Let's go and have a look here. There you go. Official statement coming out. We'll pull that up for you, ladies and gents. Here we go. Stade de France will hold the Champions League final on the 28th of May. UEFA have confirmed. Been moved away from Russia, from St. Petersburg. Of course it has. But look, if there was pressure on Pochettino to deliver, that pressure has just been cranked up to the megawatts. I tell you what, that stinks of corruption. That does. That stinks of that stinks of like, here's a few million, UEFA. Just move it to Paris. Pure coincidence that it's gone to Paris before Qatar hosts the World Cup. Not that I'm cynical. Jibak, we're running a charity for Fletch and Phelan. Fletch and Phelan does sound like a charity. Fletch and Phelan. Don't know. Sounds like a really bad duo. Stade de France is a great stadium, and I've no doubt, but that reeks of a under the table payment. Cynical, I know, but let's go. So yeah, if the pressure was on Poch to deliver the Champions League, I think that's been cranked up a lot. I got a bit waffly there, but my point very much stood. When it comes to Paul Mitchell in this picture, now Manchester Evening News is saying, "Oh, Paul Mitchell was just visiting his family." Okay, dokie. If we're talking about cynicism, I would probably look at that from a cynical angle as well. I think Manchester United are just looking to really, really, really modernise the structure. And the fact that Paul Mitchell has worked with Pochettino, of course. And then if you're looking at it, say you're looking at this from a Poch pro angle, right? That you do want Poch in, then something like that should probably excite you. Because what Manchester City did before Pep Guardiola became manager was they basically made the bed for him. They brought everybody in. I told you they brought in like Barca's boardroom staff that he had worked with. They brought in so much of that Barcelona structure to Man City that when Pep came in, he was like, "Hey, how's it going, guys? I know exactly what I'm doing here." Maybe that could be the same thing at Poch. If someone like Paul Mitchell comes in, "Hey, we've worked together before, 2 different clubs. Let's go. Let's make it happen." Gary, absolutely fancy a nice Paris away trip. I forgot about that. Eurostar. The greatest transport in the world is the Eurostar train from King's Cross. You sit there, you get a bag of beer, and like 3 hours later, you're in Paris and you haven't had to move. You haven't got to go on a plane, off a plane. Lovely. Walking down, go to the toilet. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est magnifique, actually. So yeah, just United got to get to the final first. Let's go down here. Alex King, did I read United have removed Aeroflot from as a sponsor? Aeroflot at the moment have been banned by Boris Johnson from flying in the UK. And as it stands, Manchester United are not using Aeroflot. And I imagine Aeroflot will get dropped in the same way that well done Schalke for dropping Gazprom as their shirt sponsor. Everybody's uniting against the barbaric actions from Vladimir Putin. Fucking maniac. War has been brought back into Europe after. I mean, I'm sure I've told some of you before. I did a history degree, so I studied a lot about Russia, all the way from Tsar Nicholas the whole way through to the Russian Revolution, into Lenin, into Stalin, into Gorbachev, into the Cold War, into Putin. So I know a fair bit about it, and yeah, it's terrifying what's happening, and I wish the best to anybody who's being affected by this out in Ukraine. Yeah, I think maybe obviously I don't know what I can do really. I can't do anything apart from just wish the best for them. Lisa, Rangers were amazing last night. Not Lisa, sorry. Rangers. Ibrox is a hell of a stadium when it's bouncing, and fair play to Rangers for doing that last night. But as I was saying, right, if there's one thing that I know that the last few years at Manchester United, we've gotten basically nothing right. There's one thing we have got right. It's our academy. And Alejandro Garnacho, 14 goals and 6 assists in 28 matches. Last night, scoring a free kick with his right foot and a pile driver with his left foot. He absolutely is nailing it. And Ralf Rangnick was there to watch last night. So I think it's going to be exciting to watch him come through. As a 17-year-old, his physique is very well developed. Not something you normally see at that age. Looks very, very good. And obviously, we can talk about Hannibal. We can talk about Charlie McNeil coming through. We can talk about Zidane Iqbal. We can talk about quite a few Manchester United players. Of course, Anthony Elanga. But players that we've had excellent recruitment over the last few years when it comes to good, high-level teenagers from around the best clubs in Europe. Manchester United really have brought in quite a few. And Garnacho can hopefully be the next one. It's exciting, isn't it? Before we move on, though, let's quickly announce the winner of... I don't know why I just made a tune-up. This week's, the final. This is the one I've been holding up the whole time. Going to have to figure out a new giveaway, aren't I? The final Ronaldo shirt. Hang it around there. Who's going to win it? Let's find out. I mean, I know. You can find out. The winner... Yeah, Fernandez is very promising too. That's a very good point there from Jonathan. But the winner of the final Ronaldo shirt is from Facebook. And it's... Let me put his name up. Oh, God. Liam Griffin. Well done. Well done, my friend. Unlucky or It just wasn't you. You were so close, my friend. You were so close. It's Liam Griffin. Liam, congratulations, my friend. I will drop you a message on Facebook, but you, sir, are the winner of the final Ronaldo shirt. This one here. And we need to get a new set of giveaways to go here on United People's TV. So thank you very much to everybody who's entered for all the competitions that have happened over the last... Geez, how many have I given away now? I think I've given away about 20-ish, something like that. But as I said, I'd like to give back to you. Ian, I see you joining up as a member, my friend. My man. But look, Kleiny didn't get one. Unlucky. Congratulations, says Craig, and congratulations, says everybody in the comments. Big up to all of you. Anybody got any more comments? You keep firing them in. Let's move on to the next talking point, though. It's Friday. As it feels, I don't know. It feels a bit weird. I don't know. Oh, actually, I've got something to tell you. Forgot about that. So it's quite exciting for me, anyway. So I might not be here for the live streams for a few days next week. I say I might not. I won't be. I'll tell you why. Let me pull this up. Because I am going somewhere. And I'll tell you where I'm going. Let me pull this up. This is really exciting. I've wanted to go here for a long time, and I'm finally getting it done. Yeah. I'm going to Las Vegas. I'm going to Las Vegas next week on Wednesday, and I'm going to be back on Tuesday, going for like 5-6 nights. I've never been before, going with a very good friend, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a long time since been able to do a holiday because of everything that happened with COVID. And yeah, I'm going Vegas. So there's going to be some funny videos, I would imagine. We play City on the Sunday morning when I'm there at 8:30 in the morning. So that's going to be an interesting match reaction. I'm going to try and get some sort of lives done. I might be only doing the lives over on Instagram, actually. So what I will say to you now, quickly, let me drop the link in the description. Go over now and follow the Instagram page, all right? There you go. Boom. Right? So go over there, follow the Instagram page, because I'm going to be doing some lives on there, some content on there, and it won't always be on YouTube. So I'd like you to, and I'm trying to build up the Instagram account. So if you would, please go over to the Instagram account now. Just follow the page. Ian, what are you saying there, sir? You are saying, I've just subscribed on both Facebook and YouTube. Big up to you for the support, my friend. Why does it sometimes decide to do this weird, jerky thing? Stop doing that. Please. Please? Stop doing it. Stop. Don't know why it's doing it. No idea why it's doing it. The internet just decides to do what it fucking wants sometimes. And is it fixed? I don't know whether it's fixed. But look, as Polar Bear says, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's very, very true. I don't write the rules. I don't write the rules. Oh, look, it's decided to fix itself. Brilliant news. Jesus. Anyway, so that's happening next week. I'm going to start waffling on here. It's almost like I'm distracted on Friday. I am in a time loop. But yeah, I don't know what. Look, I'm not lagging anymore. There's nothing wrong with my computer. There's nothing wrong with my internet. It just decides to have a bit of a brain fart for like 25, 30 seconds. Yeah. Jonathan, you're like the United team flying off to Dubai on a jolly mid-season. That's exactly what I'm doing. Sod it. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I'm still going to be doing some content out there. I don't know what sort of content, but there will be some sort of content. But follow me on Instagram. But back to the football, hey? Right. This was quite interesting, I thought, anyway. Ronaldo, this is coming from The Athletic again this week, saying Ronaldo attended a meeting with Ralf Rangnick after the home draw against Southampton, with Ronaldo expressing a view that a return to playing two up top would benefit him and the team overall. Now, Manchester United have had 3 games since then, and Manchester United have not played two up top at all. So either that meeting didn't happen, I don't really know why the Athletic made that up, or just Ralf Rangnick hasn't agreed with Ronaldo. Because we all know that Ronaldo this season, the goals are there, but is he the greatest asset to a footballing style that we're trying to build? No, he's part of the confusion. He's part of the conflicts between styles and the conflicts between what works and what doesn't work. But we have not really listened to Ronaldo if he's asked there. if he's asked to play 2 up top. Gary there, Gary there, your comment made me laugh. I swear on my life, this is all coming out of my pocket. I promise you that, ladies and gentlemen. Everything that you have been putting into the channel, I'm putting back into the channel. So yeah, I'll be out in Vegas for a few days. It'll be good. Now, Matt, that's a terrible advice, saying put all your money on red. I don't gamble. I'm a very responsible individual. I'm going to Las Vegas simply to enjoy the sunshine and to go to bed at 9 p.m. and to wake up at 10 a.m. fresh as a daisy. That's all that's going to be happening in Vegas. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. What else have we got? I've been so distracted this morning. I've completely and utterly lost my chain of thought. We've seen some reports came out yesterday about Manuel Akanji, who is the Borussia Dortmund centre-back, and reports are saying that Manchester United have made an offer for him in the region of, 4-year contract, 30 million euros is his price tag. Akanji, if you don't know, as I said, let's scroll over here and let's see what sort of player he is. He is 26, Nigerian centre-back who plays for Borussia Dortmund, and he is a centre-back, plays on the left or the right of the centre-back positions. And I'll be honest, why we bet centre backs? Cool. Yeah, you could probably bring one in. Let's focus on the problems, though, Manchester United. The problems are central defensive midfield. The problems are central midfield. And the problem is as a striker. Let's not get distracted by centre backs, because this is not the summer where United will be able to spend a ridiculous amount of money. We're going to have to be careful and do it properly. The first signing we should make is a top draw central defensive midfielder. The second signing we should make is a top draw world-class number 9. And the third signing we should make is another central midfielder in the region of like 20 to 40 million pounds, sort of maybe won't be the big name that maybe everybody would want, but somebody who can come in and boost that squad strength. And therefore, we'd have 3 signings. And if you're looking at a centre-back, yeah, cool, you can argue about a centre-back. But I think there's bigger problems at Manchester United. You go down there, Callum saying, could he be a replacement for Maguire? I mean, he could be a replacement for Maguire. I don't really think we're going to be selling Maguire, though. That's my own personal opinion. I might be wrong in that. I don't think I am. I think Maguire's going to be staying, whether you like him or lump him. I just hope that he won't stay as captain. I just hope, you know my opinion on that whole situation. Anna saying, Sam, bring something back as a Vegas giveaway. All right. Yeah, there you go. Maybe I will do that. I promise I will bring something back, even if it's a hangover, and I'll give you I won't give you a hangover. But look, I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, everybody, if you've got any more questions, fire them in for the next few minutes, and we'll wrap this one up nice and early so I can get my predicted 11 done for the Watford game in time for our press conference with Rangnick this afternoon. Because look, after I would say the success of the game on Wednesday night and the success of the Leeds game, different sorts of momentum, but momentum all the same. We needed to avoid defeat there out in Atletico Madrid. And by the way, I've got the predictions spot on. 1-1 score draw. Come on, baby. And now we're going into this Watford game. It's these sorts of games, whether it's Burnley, whether it's Southampton, whether it's Middlesbrough. 3 examples of Manchester United slipping up against opposition who, on paper, you should be beating. But this is a Watford team who's just been pumped 4-1 by Crystal Palace. All right? 4-1 by Crystal Palace. There's no excuse. 0 excuse for Manchester United not to be dominating. Not to be dominating that game against Watford at Old Trafford. Simple as that. I'll speak about that in a bit more depth in my predicted 11 show, though. Adrian saying, can I donate a fantastic picture of King Eric to United People's TV? Adrian, if you'd like to, what's his name? I think Dave on Twitter. I can't remember your name specifically, Dave, but Dave sent something in this week. It came in the post. I'm going to be opening that and hopefully getting that added to the set. If anybody wants to send anything in, cool. You're more than welcome to. Adrian, just hit me up on Instagram. As I said, I'll drop the Instagram in the comments there. Sanjay, what you reminded me for? Watford pumped us 4-1 too. Forgot about that game. Yeah, if you want to send me a DM on Instagram, you're more than welcome to. All right. If you want to send anything in, as I said, this is my show and it's your show. It's a community that we're building here on United People's TV. That has to be probably one of the most waffly shows I've ever done. Something I'm going to be starting soon. I asked all the members yesterday on the WhatsApp group and on the Facebook page, what sort of content would you like to see? Definitely going to be starting a weekly Q&A session. I'm not sure where I'm going to host it. I might just sort of keep it behind the scenes. Might do it on YouTube. I don't know. And also we have every intention of starting like fan forum type shows, bringing in regulars. That's all happening. So don't worry about that. But look, everybody, thank you very much for your comments about everything today. Thank you very much for joining in. It's a bit of a quiet show this morning, but it's cool. All the main people are here. But thank you very much for joining in. Make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe to United People's TV. And please check out my video that's going out in maybe an hour and a half's time. My predicted 11 for the game against Watford, because we have to win that game. Take it easy, everyone, and enjoy your Friday. It's Friday, people. Come on.